Hey everyone, and welcome to Let's Do Shots. Today we'll be talking about how China fell in love with KFC, an American fast food company. Not only is KFC China's biggest restaurant chain with 5,000 plus outlets, China is also the country where KFC has most locations, ahead of USA, and about 10 times more than India. So, let's do shots. Just like India opened its economy in 1991 and welcomed foreign brands, China did the same in the 1980s, and one of the brands that came in and set up shop was KFC. Interestingly, their first outlet was strategically placed in a tourist location in Beijing. This ensured that they got foot traffic from foreigners who were already aware of the brand. When compared to brands like McDonald's and Burger King, KFC had an intrinsic advantage in the Chinese market. The Chinese prefer chicken over other meat forms like beef. KFC is all about their chicken, whereas McDonald's and Burger King relied on their beef offerings. So when these foreign fast food brands set up shop in China, they were more attracted to the brand which was serving them a meat of their choice. Moreover, in the US, KFC's positioning is that of a fast food restaurant, a place where you can get cheap food, many times used as a quick stop for a quick meal. In China, however, KFC was an aspirational place to go to. Much like India, China has a huge concept of street food. So when a foreign brand offered their products in a sit down restaurant at pocket friendly prices, the Chinese loved the concept. This was also a time when the locals placed a high amount of trust in anything that was Western, especially at a time when counterfeit Chinese goods had already become notorious around the world. However, the biggest game changer for KFC was their readiness to modify their menu to adjust to the Chinese tastes and preferences. At the time, the whole concept of American fast food restaurants was that they wanted to expand with a limited menu and a standardized recipe. The idea was that you would get the same burger whether you were eating it in Manhattan or Mumbai. But when KFC entered China, they realized that they could not continue to do that there. So they adjusted their menu to add Chinese flavors. This is exactly what McDonald's did in India with their iconic Mekalu Tikki. They realized that a large part of our population is vegetarian, so they needed a vegetarian offering, something which is almost unheard of in many of their locations around the world. Back to China. So KFC added a side of corn instead of French fries for the Chinese population. They added rice to their menu, a staple in China. They innovated with menu items like sushi ritos. They added congee, a traditional Chinese dish to their menu, which is basically rice porridge. And many locals prefer KFC's congee over homemade ones. That's like if your neighborhood McDonald's started selling aloo matar and you prefer their recipe over the one made at your home. It's crazy. In the late 90s, China had a huge pop culture revolution, and KFC ensured it got those pop culture stars and celebrities and music groups to be part of their marketing. Eventually, when KFC saw that Chinese preferences are moving towards more healthy choices, they launched K Pro, a luxurious, healthy version of KFC. People go and eat salads there, and they drink juice at KFC. It's insane. Now, moving on to McDonald's. McDonald's too adjusted their menu and food products for the Chinese markets. But they're still playing catch up to KFC. There are two reasons for that. When McDonald's entered China, they focused only on four or five biggest cities and set up shop there because people in those big cities would have more spending power. KFC, however, had a long term plan and they decided to expand rapidly in smaller towns and cities instead. Through this rapid expansion, they were able to create scale and in turn, they were able to reduce cost. This cost reduction allowed them to spend more on advertising and marketing. By being the first ones to expand to these smaller towns, KFC also got the most prime locations, which is a big deal because unlike big cities, there are only two or three prime locations in a smaller town, and that too back in the 90s. KFC was also able to ride on the wave of excitement that each town had every time they opened a new outlet because KFC was going to be the first experience of dining in a Western fast food joint for them. Further, China's one child policy was also a deterrent to McDonald's Because with their happy meals and happy toys, they position themselves as a restaurant for children. KFC's love story with China is surely unique, but it is nothing compared to what they did in Japan. KFC figured out a way to make themselves a Christmas tradition in Japan. Yes, Christmas. No Christmas is complete in Japan without a bowl of KFC chicken. This story is an episode in itself, and I'll be talking about it in the next short we do together. So make sure you tune in. Until then, let's do shots.